Hey guys, it's Reynold here. Today we're going to be doing a budget Inferno cheese setup. This is a 500ml setup. I did try to keep it lower, but I wasn't able to do it without having a certain level of DPS. Now this is a brute force guide with relatively simple solves. And what I mean by that is you are basically using the power creep from Confliction Gauntlets, Ayak, and Heart in order to brute force through blobs and be able to freeze meleeers very easily, as well as just use Ice Barrage as a tool to help you out with freezing in general. So let's go ahead and show you guys how it's done, but I do want to go over some notable upgrades in case your budget is a bit higher. Shadow obviously is one from my most previous video, but I want to go over some of the cheaper ones. So Oath Plate Legs and Varix Skirt both can give you some more range defense. I also want to talk about the thresholds you want to meet when you're kind of playing around with the gear in general. So let's just whip out all of these so I can show you like how to play around with your setup. I'd recommend getting a attack above 60. I do recommend having some magic damage, at least 20% when you're ice barraging the beginning. We're using Bone Crusher Necklace, but if you have an Eldritch, do use an Occult. An Occult is much better. Fury can also be used, but this does come with the bonus of having 30 Prayer. With 30 Prayer and no Eldritch, you don't use any Prayer pretty much until you start using your offensive prayers, which is very, very nice. Trust me, we're not going to go in with that much, but we will be leaving with a pretty healthy amount without having flicking much. Oath Plate Legs are very defensive, and they actually don't have too much negative mage, if you want to see, comparatively to like Varix Plate Skirt. They have 9 higher, they have pretty close range defense, and their slash defense is enormous, but of course, very expensive set. We're just going to be using Virtus Legs for ours. Eternal Boots can be used in place if you want to hit a closer magic level. Let's say, like this setup does have 345, this one has 65 mage, and it still has pretty good prayer bonus. This one is pretty respectable, trades off a little bit of magic for quite a bit more range, but much more expensive, and a little bit less generous on the prayer. So Eldritch, if you have this, you could spam this, and you're gonna get like an extra 2-3 restores worth, which means you can bring an extra Brood, you can do whatever you want with the setup, and a Curse Scepter would be okay if you want to roll some dice rolls at Zoc, but I really don't recommend it because having Blowpipe is kind of OP. But anyway, let's go ahead and pot up. I don't think this setup is possible without Heart. I have tried it, unless you have like, an Eladinus Ward and maybe Avernic Treads or like Magus Ring to make up for it. And the reason for that is because you need to hit like an acceptable level of DPS if you're looking to brute force blobs. Sure, you can get like decent freeze percentages without that, but if you don't have mage levels constantly hearted up, then it may take you a lot longer to kill a blob, which ruins the consistency of the method. I've tried running it, and although you can probably make it to 60s if you play the game, that's not the purpose of the build. We're trying to not really play the game and make things as simple as possible. But we won't do too many Giga Meme solves like freezing and stepping under or anything like that too often. We will use freeze a lot to simplify the stacks, and surprisingly it doesn't lower the speed too much. For this setup, I recommend having your auto cast on Ice Barrage, and we're only going to use our offensive prayers Mystic Vigor on the blobs when they spawn. Otherwise, we don't really use Mystic Vigor. When mages spawn later on, they're a bit too tanky for the Ayak to take them down, so we just do a full switch to the Bofa and kill them with no offensive prayer. It's a little bit slow, but not too bad. So this safe spot right here is excellent for safe spotting blobs. And then these safe spots right here, these mark tiles are just for Zuck. That's all the tile markers we're going to need for the entire fight. The only other things you want to know is these 3 tiles over here are good for safe spotting the meleeer, and slash or anything else. Okay, so we're in wave 4 with the blobs now. So the blobs, all you need to do is pray mage. Simple as that. They will hit you with range attacks, but you have a lot of defense. Let's use Mystic Vigor whenever we're fighting one. That increases our DPS quite substantially and allows for us to kill it at a pretty consistent and reasonable rate without it being like too bad. Their max hit is 29 though, so if you ever encounter a situation where you've dearly messed up and you have like blobs attacking you, do keep in mind their max hit. They have about a less than 15% chance to hit you, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take care of this bat. The bat is higher priority because he's the only thing that consistently hits us through. And this is what really makes the setup overpowered, is the fact that you can kind of just ignore learning blobs. I think I forgot to use Mystic Vigor on right there, but whatever. That's it. Switching to my Bofa. The Major's pretty tanky, but that's okay. So now we'll have two blobs there. We'll safe spot him because it's free in this case. Just fight the one bat. And a lot of the solves I do are pretty forbidden, but they're not like, they're surprisingly not that meme. In terms of like consistency. Let's turn this guy on. This also gives you 5% defense, which is actually pretty reasonable. You know, decent bit. Let's go ahead and blood barrage. This is as a Dragon Hunter 1, but of course Eldritch would be here instead. Great. In this case, we can just safe spot 1. You always want to start on this tile, and just try to minimize the amount of things you're fighting at one time. Now for reference, you can also combine this with actually learning the blobs, and you're pretty much an invincible player at that point. Now we're gonna get the meleeers. The meleeers, you can go for freezes on, with or without Mystic Vigor. Mystic Vigor obviously helps. The second freeze has around a 90% chance to land. I think actually it might be closer to around like mid-80s with this gear. Sorry, I think the stat I gave you was for the max setup. So the main thing you want to learn for the melee is you can safe spot him against a pillar like this, but a lot of the time he'll be coming around either the other side of the pillars. I need to unstuck him here. And you can also safe spot him on these tiles like this. He'll try to crawl, and you can see you can move him pretty far back, but there is a limit. If he does start getting to slash you, don't worry, his hit rate is not that high, but it is going to be a potential high amount of damage, so I do recommend trying to freeze him, which beforehand was troll, but now is actually decent. And of course you can use other monsters to easily safe spot him, and use the kind of same safe spot. Running range against these bats is pretty important, as although they don't have a high hit rate, when they do hit, they will possibly drain your stats. So try to play ranged against them if there's no other high threats like majors going on or something. But if you're fighting a blob, you can just pray mage, it's fine. So we'll have a blob now, so let's go ahead and pray mage. We'll try to isolate one at a time. In this case, we can fight just a meleeer. Do keep in mind, if I step out like this, depending on where this blob is, he may be able to see me on like this area, so just be a bit mindful about that. You can mark this tile if you want to. We won't use it for a while, but it is a great way to hit nibblers that are over here without exposing yourself to anything stuck behind the pillar. Now, when you kill a blob in this position, which is what I would say is the most standard position, it actually safe spots everything where you can fight just the ranger one time. And then something else I want to go over is called Phantom Healing, and we won't be doing it yet, but it is important to know to be relatively safed up through the waves. So the blob is seeing us. Let's not expose ourselves to the meleeer at the same time. Let's go ahead and kill the bat first. All about the blob. And let's blood barrage up. Now we can blood barrage up off the melee to heal up here. Make sure we keep our prayer regen constantly active. Let me move this gear a bit. The blow pipe specs can also be used if you want to, just heal up with those off like blobs. It's actually pretty decent DPS. Ah, I wasn't supposed to flick, sorry, I don't know what came over me. You'll forgive me for one, right? In this case, let's go ahead and stay spot and fight just the melee. Instantly frozen. I think I set my wand to like punch or something weird. Anyway. I don't know if I can reach this guy. If I can't, then I'll just pray mage behind this thing. Now we can say spot the bats here. The blob will see us. Normally you would just focus on praying against them and that would, increase your safety even more. But in this case, brute force method doesn't really matter. Go ahead and come out here and kill him. Let's drop one item here so we can use our blowpipe specs. Standard position, only the ranger can see us. So if you need a little extra HP and you have a bloblet spawn triplet like this, what you can do is cast blood barrage. And just keep manually casting on them like this repeatedly. And you see, even after they die, you can get one extra blood barrage, and that actually gives you the healing, which is pretty nice. Now let's go ahead and stand here. This will let us hit these nibblers without being exposed to the other blob. And let's try to isolate the fights as much as possible. When there's something on the far side, you can actually safe spot this guy by just standing over here. Now in this case, it doesn't really do anything for me because of course I'll safe spot this guy, but then this guy's still over there blasting me. Oops, didn't pray melee fast enough. Doesn't really matter though. His hit rate's really low. And you see with the debone necklace, this very high prayer bonus, we're not releasing any prayer. Oftentimes when you leave something with, when you get a 30 defense XP drop or something like that, it's going to be because you left the major alive. Now this wave is just going to have meleeers. And you can absolutely take the setup on task, replace the Shishir helm with a Slayer helm, mess around with the thresholds, and just get your 50% CA or 65-minute GM time with that as well. It is pretty free if you have good gear. Now next set, we're just going to get a ranger after this set of nibblers, so just need to pray range. If there's like a blob and a ranger on you, you can always pray range to start. Assuming there's no major, out there in the wild. And then you can just run behind and pray mage, isolate the ranger. You lose one max hit not having a cult, which is a little unfortunate, but it's fine. This guy's on Ice Barrage. Really convenience. Now we'll have 2 bats, and then we'll get a blob after. If you did bring an Eldritch, make sure to use it either on the Nibblers or the bats. Those are the ideal targets. If you need to, you can use it on a Ranger as well. Because these guys would basically be the ones with the lowest mage defense. You definitely don't want to use it on a blob. Melee is not that great either. But yeah, we would have profited prayer points by now if we had the Eldritch. Which could be more space for brews and stuff. Let's go behind and pray mage. I think I mistimed it there. I don't think it really matters too much. Yeah, it doesn't. So now we have a typical 2-stack. Let me show you how it's normally done and what we're going to do instead. So the proper way to play it is, you can, this case, we don't really need to off-tick. The only first threat is the Ranger on tick 1. And then you would normally alternate your prayers like this. And you would maintain this indefinitely until, let's say you kill something or whatever. But in this case, we're not going to do that. We are going to do something extremely brain dead, which is pray ranged against him. Freeze the guy in front. Always the guy in front, unless it's like a major. And then we're going to go back and pray mage. I'm going to do that until the freeze lands. You want to make sure you're walking out the left side when you're doing this. For convenience sake, you can use the autocast wand. Reduce the amount of clicks you need to do. And then once you run here, it'll actually destack them. Is this filthy and degenerate? A little bit, but this means you don't have to focus on like keeping any particular kind of pattern in the Inferno. And then of course you can phantom heal here if needed. And freezing the Ranger is also extremely accurate. And remember, this is not efficient, but this is probably the most brain dead way to do it, if you ask me. Now, I don't think we need our defense levels yet. We do eventually want to be using a brew to keep up our defense levels, but it's not that time yet. When our heart comes up and we think we need it, we'll do we'll brew, sandfew, and then heart in that order. In this case, the Rangers stay spotted, so this is pray against the blob. We can isolate it to fight just a Ranger, so let's go ahead and pray ranged. You see, I did not hit that ranged prayer. If you hit it by accident, it's fine. And then on this side here, we can stay spot the bat and just pray against the blob. And if the blob does unavoidable chip damage, it's not our fault. Now let's go back here. Let's get the blob a little bit closer. Now in this case, this is a perfect example of phantom heal. We'll manually cast the Ranger over and over. And that'll get us to 99 HP just like that. And we'll go behind and pray mage. And you're gonna accidentally get him right. You don't intend to do it that way, but it is nice to know. And now we're just gonna ignore it and pray mage against him. Now this Ranger normally would see me if I ran out to hit these nibblers, so what we could do is freeze him like a degenerate. And then hug the pillar like this. Now we can get to a position where he can't see us. Now this is essentially me freestyling the waves. I made that shit up, and it just works. You can freestyle a lot of these waves, so yeah, just kind of like... if you just watch the run, you'll just understand, like, there's a lot of things you can do. Just freestyling. Now let's turn on Mystic Vigor, because we're fighting the blob. If we need HP, we could also double blow by spec. I ice barrage by accident there. That's just a little unfortunate. Now, if you do start low HP on a wave, feel free to start with blood barrage. And we can safe spot and just have the blobs here. Let's run to this safe spot so we can hit the nibblers. Let's take care of Mr. Blobby here. When you're fighting the blob on this position, always touch the corner here, and it'll safe spot the melee area. So we got a 2-stack here. Let's go ahead and safe spot it with the technique we showed before. Pray range in this case, and then walk back and mage. I didn't even freeze it. There you go. And then we'll run over here, and it'll isolate the stack. There you go. Now I could heal off the ranger, but it's not really necessary, because the blob will basically let me heal off it with a fancy heal here. I guess I could do it to make it a little bit more consistent, in case I take some damage from the blob. There you go. Let's go ahead and employ the Phantom Healer here. I'm going to get a Ranger and a Meleeer, so let's pray ranged. And safe spot either of them. You can always wing some freezes on the Meleeer. Pretty decent chance there. I could have also just safe spotted him against a pillar. Ranger, Bat, and Meleeer. Now this melee is already safe spotted. You keep in mind you have more range using your Dragon Hunter wand than you use with the Ayak. The Ayak only has a 10 attack range. And we'll get 2 bats. So as long as we continue to safe spot the Meleeer, we are chilling. Go ahead and bring the Ranger a little bit closer to us. Now, you also probably don't need the stamina for Zuck, but I do recommend most learners bring one just in case. In case they have no idea how to do any run management, a single dose of stamina will basically remove any need for like even thinking about walking. Now we're gonna get a Ranger and a Bat, so let's go ahead and try to safe spot the Ranger, and then pray Mage against a Blob. Now there's no Blob here, so we're fine anyway. Now we go out and just pray Mage here. We might get hit by the Ranger, so let's not do that. Let's go ahead and bring the Meleeer down. You can safe spot him like this. You want to use his corners like that so he doesn't reach you. Really need Mystic Vigor. And don't really greet too hard for one. It's fine. Now here we can use the free stack to separate the sack. You see, the timing is very generous. In this case, I think I can actually freeze him and probably step under him and hit the nibs, but it's fine. Save spot the ranger. In this case, we actually can't save spot the ranger, so we'll just keep bearing ranged. Unless there was a mage on me. Go ahead and go for some freezes here. A little unlucky not to get it by the second, but that's okay. We're very tanky. We can fight just the blob here. And while we're fighting the... Oh, thought I could see him from here. I had to see him from here. Anyway, I'm also very tanky versus the ranger, so it's not like if I make a mistake, I'm likely to take damage anyway. DPS does kind of matter here. We do want to kill this melee in a timely fashion, so I'm using Mystic Vigor. Let's go ahead and try to freeze this guy. Why did I blood barrage him? Anyway, the setup is very lenient, so I'm sure it's fine. Alright, now we can fight just the ranger. Oh, I think I had freezed immediately. Doesn't matter though. You can get away with a lot the setup, as you can see. In this case, only the ranger sees us. Everything that we're fighting is ranged, so we don't need to move an inch. We'll have 2 blobs next. Honestly, I probably should have brewed, restored, and then hearted, but it's okay. Not that big of a deal yet. Play mage versus the blob. Now we're fighting just the melee in this case. If I was noodling, I would probably freeze this melee. Augury is best used when you need the defense, so if the melee was stabbing me, I could have used augury as well. Now, because we just did 2 blobs, next time we are going to... Wait, no, we had 2 bats or 2 blobs? Can't remember anymore. Who cares? All I know is that the ranger is the scary thing in the beginning. Now we have 2 blobs. So this blob will actually see me if I step out. So let's go ahead and step out this way while praying mage. Let's bring him over to the side like this. Oops, ran out by accident. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Yep, because I'm wearing 330 range defense. It's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the thingy. De-stack him like this. That's 1v1. Oops, so that was blood barrage. He'll slightly just improve our consistency at fighting the blob. Let's say he hits us like double 29 or something, that would be kind of sad. I could have healed a bit more, but it's fine. I'm sure 80 HP is perfectly fine. Little phantom heal there. So we're gonna have a range and 2 melees. Okay, range. We'll save spot the ranger and fight the meleers. In this case, a freeze isn't even needed. Next wave we'll get 2 rangers, and then we'll start seeing the major. Let's get our T-bow ready. T-bow, Bofa. It's going to be used for the majors. Now this wave is just going to be an intermittent wave. You can heal up here if needed. Now this is where the game finally begins. We've beaten the first 30 levels. We've now gone to the majors. Pray mage and click it. Simple as that. What's really going to be scary is when this guy is paired with rangers on the same side of the map. You want to make sure you're zoomed out, and you're going to be trying to isolate as many as you can. So you never want to fight this guy plus the ranger at the same time. This guy plus blobs is fine, and ideally you don't want to be fighting the ranger and the blobs at the same time, but you can make that work as well. So biggest threat right now is to avoid fighting this guy and the ranger, or the ranger and 2 blobs at the same time. Every other scenario is pretty much fine. The melee can be taken care of every single time, otherwise by just freezing him and killing him first. And that's all this is really going to boil down to with this setup. Normally you would have to, actually be careful of blobs and stuff, but in this case we can fully ignore it. Now, it's a little inefficient for me to kill this bat first, but I'm too lazy to get this melee to get closer. You may revive him, I don't really care. I'll just put on the tank setup and kill the bat again if that happens. You see the Echo Boots and Suffering do some pretty hefty lifting to keep your prayer usage low here as well. It is wave 36, we have Inflict, and we still have only used 1 dose of Sandview. Basically, prayer regen is going to full carry this. Go ahead and safe spot the major, fight 1 threat at a time. When possible, you want to kill the major first. The major can only revive the same mob once, so now that he's rezzed his bat, he can't res it again. If I were to kill this bat, then he could res the other bat again. Let's go ahead and refresh our prayer regeneration potion. If you're going a bit slower, you can add 1 more and just swap out 1 Sandview. Now we're going to get a major and a blob, so we're just going to pray mage. Basically 2 mages, as far as we're concerned. And we can't actually fight this bat, this major, if we just bring him a bit closer. So we'll just stand here for now, and completely ignore this guy. If he damages it, it's whatever, we can phantom heal off him later. You might be thinking that Inferno is looking pretty damn easy with this setup. It is. This is what power creep does to the game. Now, Phantom Heal is perfect for this situation. Leave this in our inventory now. Kill the blob first is the easiest route to possibly go for this. Normally, if you were like speedrunning, you would instantly just start hitting this major and start alternating flicking, but we're taking the easiest route possible. Now if he spawns the blob again, we're just going to do exactly what we did before, kill him again. Now he cannot respawn the blob, so we're just chilling now. The defense doesn't matter yet. The defense will matter basically when the meleeers come out. Not the meleeers, the rangers come out. Let's fight the bat here because the blob's a weaker threat and something that's constantly hitting ranged at me and possibly draining my stats. Okay. You can safe spot the bat in this case. If he summons the blob, we're just going to go ahead and put on our tank gear and kill it. Now we can also safe spot in this case. Like so. Like just a blob. This doesn't actually change anything anyway, but... The second dose of Sandfew has been consumed at wave 40. The prayer regen is doing a lot of hefty lifting, as you see. Oops. Misclick there. We'll use augury because it's two blobs. Increasing our defense can help a bit. We need to lure this guy just a little closer, but this is perfectly fine where he is. You can actually reach him with Rabofa. Not reach him with the Ayak, and you could also reach him with a shadow here if you have one, or Tibo, whatever gear you have. If you do need him to get closer, let's say he spawned over there, then you can just stand here for the blob, fight the blob. Maybe don't kill it, and just fight the major. Save you some time. Do make sure you're not too close to the pillar, like close up to the blob when he spawns his triplet set, because if he does, they won't spawn in the funny configuration that lets you heal. Just using Bofa on this guy because it's a little bit faster than using Ayak on average. Low pipe's probably the best, but oh well, it doesn't really... I don't really care too much. It's not that serious. The blob's gonna get replaced here. In this case, it's a little bit easier to lure the mage closer. Then we can say spot the meleeer, like so. This style would have worked either. If he digs to us, we can just reposition to a different spot, like over there. Just be careful not to run into melee range of the major. So we'll go around this way instead. We ran into melee range, but we got stuck because it's fine. He can't hit diagonal. It's just that there was a pillar in front of me, so he couldn't see me. Go ahead and keep our prayer regen going. Lower the major a bit closer. Could say spot the meleeer again. Diagonal tile's fine. Could say spot the bat right here. Now this is a little bit of a time waste, but it's not that big of a deal for your first escape. Slow and steady, as they say. The bat is the threat. Let's go ahead and kill the bat. Don't really need that offensive prayer, to be honest, but... Now let's put on our tank gear again whenever he resummons the bat. Kill it again. There you go. Now the meleeer digging is a little annoying here. What we can do is just freeze it when he does that, while running away from him. This case is fine. We can actually run through him in this case like this. Make sure we never enter melee range of him. Now the thing is, it's a little pointless here because the chance I kill this mage is a bit low. So what I'll do is I'll just run closer like this, and this will actually stay spot him on these tiles here. Again, just a freestyle solve. I could have, I guess, ran there to begin with, but that's okay. Now, only the major sees us right now, so we're content staying still. We do need to lure the major closer, so let's go ahead and fight the blob while we wait. We'll go ahead and kill it. Meller gets safe spotted here. And when he digs, we're just gonna wrap around to the other side. Like so. And then when he digs again, we'll wrap around to this side. If it resummons the blob, I'll just put on my tank gear and kill it. Now only the ranger or the only this one bat sees us right now. So I think the easiest route to do for this is just to kill this blob in this particular instance. This triangle solve can be solved a bunch of different ways, but this seems to be the easiest one. We'll start hitting this guy. Third dose of sand fused at 46. The blob is back up. Let's put on our mage gear. Right now we're fighting just a melee. Go ahead and pray melee and kill him. Now we can actually separate the stack if we needed to. Let's pretend this was a ranger and we needed to separate the stack. We could do it for the major. We want to do the opposite way because he's kind of thick. You know, he's tummy thick. So let's go ahead and try to freeze the major, which is normally very illegal. So you see how we walk out there. Let's put this ice barrage. Then we pray ranged and go back. We're gonna rinse and repeat this until we hit it on the major. Yeah, this is only if you won't want to fight them one at a time. For a blob, it doesn't matter because you just can't pray mage. So now you see he's stuck there. You can actually bring him closer by standing right over here. And there you go. They're safe spotted and separated from each other. That's what you could do with a blob. With ranger, you can do a more typical off tick where you stand right up against the pillar and you run out that side. Now I think about it, that wouldn't have worked with a ranger because he fires right away. Sorry about that. Disregard me. Go ahead and phantom heal here to get to 99 HP. In this case, the snake will get stuck here. Kill the bat. And then kill the nibblers. And then the melee, I think, is easiest. Because if I leave him alive, he may later on dig while I'm fighting this blob if I noodle really hard. But it's not that big of a deal. If he does fight me while I'm fighting the blob, I can just freeze him later and kill him. But I think this is probably the easiest way. This guy will get stuck. Say spat the major here. Or the bat, sorry. Keep our prayer regen up. I thought that was blood barrage. It's okay though. We have 2 blobs, so we'll use augury. Let's go ahead and freeze the meleer and kill him. Oh, let's use augury. I think I just said that like a little bit ago. Let's go ahead and heal off these guys. And now we're chilling. Since his max hit is higher, I'm going to go ahead and brew. His max hit was 29, I had 27, so played safe and brew there. We should have probably brewed a while ago for the defense levels anyway. 2 blobs is kind of spooky. The difference between having base level 99 defense and 120 is probably about a 15 to 20% like damage difference. Now, we do have a small DPS check here if we don't want to, chance like getting hit. So let's go ahead and use Hawkeye, Eagle Eye, Rigger, or whatever. We'll use Hawkeye. See if we can kill this guy before he digs. And we'll blood barrage off the major, the meleer, and then we'll separate these 2 blobs from each other, so I don't have to fight them both at the same time and tank. If you're playing this normally, these 2 blobs are effectively the same as the first one, because you just spray against both of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and freeze them. And then switch prayers. It doesn't really matter if I do mage start or range start in this case. And we'll separate. I actually killed one anyway. Now that the 2 blob wave is over, we'll have a major and 2 meleers. We want to make sure we say spot the major ASAP, and then pray melee. Always have some sort of small game plan before. Probably should have also used blow pipe specs on the 2 bloblets in hindsight. Now if this guy digs, I'm just going to swap over to his side. And when this guy digs, I'll probably just swap over there or something. Okay, Now this is where the waves get a little bit spookier. We got a mage and a ranger, so let's do augury to start every wave. Extra defense is very nice. And let's try to safe spot one of them. In this case, they're actually both together, so we'll just wait for them to get to the same stack first. This is a great example of how to safe spot a typical 2-stack. Now, this is how you normally off-tick. You see how they're leaning on one side of the pillar? You want to stand in the middle, close, and go to the opposite side they're leaning, which in this case is west. And you can freeze either in this case. The back is the better one. And then you can actually fight them like this by standing here. Now we're going to do a bit of a meme solve here because we want to get those nibblers. We're going to freeze the mage. That way he can't follow us when we go to hit with these nibblers. Again, a freestyle solve. I have no idea what the freeze timer on this guy is. Let's say like 3 more seconds. So I'm going to go back here. I'll wait until he unstucks. Middle, out, click, ice barrage, mage. We're going to do that until he gets frozen. Then we'll go back here. We could actually freeze him here, now that I think about it, and drag this guy down. By standing here, and then he'll get unfrozen first. Now I think about it, that is actually a pretty... that is an easier way to do it. But again, we're kind of figuring this out on the go. Augury to start. The ranger's the only thing that sees us. We were a little bit late on the prayer, that's okay though. Very low chance for them to hit us. We can fight just a major. Now, as long as we're above 110 defense, we should be fine. So let's go ahead and not restore yet. Not that big of a difference. If you do have extra slots, though, because you brought Eldritch, then pretty much do it every single time. Go ahead and keep our prayer regen up. Very, very important. You see these later waves do get quite a bit slower. The major takes a year to kill without a shadow or a T-bow. In this case, we'll just have nothing fight us on this side. Ranger can see us here, but it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and Iac this nibbler. I don't know if I can reach with my Iac on that one over there, so I can just wait for it to get closer. Okay. Now the easier route is probably to kill this bat. And then kill the major. And if he respawns the bat, I'll just kill the bat. Whereas if I kill this ranger and he respawns him behind him, I might have to do the freeze the stack again. Which is a bit of a waste of time in terms of like the run speed. So I'm just going to do this. It's easier and it's faster. The bat also has much lower attack range, which is very, very nice. Put on our tank gear and kill the bat. Now we'll get a blob and a ranger, so definitely augury up now. Let's try to safe spot as many things as we can. In this case, it's just the major. Just by standing here, the major, as long as he doesn't spawn all the way in the corner, you can always reach with Bofa. We have a very free solve in this case. If I did need to lure him closer, I can go this side. I ranged for a little bit. And again, I do want to like triple, double, quadruple, penta stress that freeze desacking is not actually efficient for time. It is simply to simplify the mechanics to be as simple as possible. It is not anywhere close to efficient. It is actually terrible. But even doing meme freeze desacks, you can actually get 75 minute kills. I actually got a 72-minute off-task max mage kill recently doing it. So it's not, surprisingly, is not the slowest thing ever, but it is definitely inefficient for speed. So do not quote me saying I recommend freeze desacking. It just so happens to be a cheesy strat. Go ahead and use a phantom barrage. In fact, I can tell I will be quoted for it. So pretty soon we'll need to re-heart. Let's go ahead and isolate this as much as we can. In this case, this one's a bit rough. It's kind of hard to lure him a bit closer. Well, this one's actually free. Never mind. We just need to pre-ranged. That'll lure him closer. This guy's actually still stuck anyway. MVP. Let's go ahead and renew our magic levels when it's time to mage. We'll do a brew, sandfew, and then heart. Or brew, restore. Whatever. And that'll just keep stacking some defensive odds in our favor. You only really need about 3-4 brews going to Zuck, but as a learner, I do recommend having 4 or 5, which is why I brought a little extra. If you have Eldritch, you can bring even more. And I can click much faster than this, but I wanted to keep it as low APM as possible on my own end, which kind of feels weird, but someone complained that my APM in my Coliseum video was too high, apparently, when I pressed walk and I clicked to the other side of the pillar. Apparently it was too high APM, so I am trying to keep this Inferno to as low APM as possible. Okay. This song is actually a RuneScape song. It's Rhapsody by Mod Ash. Very beautiful song. So we need to lure this blob a little bit closer, so let's stand on this side. This one we can actually just pray ranged. That is until I kill the bat. Did not expect to kill the bat. Well, let's go ahead and kill the blob here. Let's do our typical off tick from before. Set on ice barrage. I actually don't need to manual cast. Then we'll go back here, and we'll freeze the major. We'll do a Bofa shot while we wait. We can actually go for the nibblers while waiting here. And then I'm just gonna keep standing here, because he can't see me until he unfreezes. And once he unfreezes, he'll automatically destack this guy for me. That is filthy. Filthy, degenerate, heinous, criminal, shameless. All of the above. Let's keep it the prayer regen. Do not try this in the Coliseum. I will report you. We'll say spot and fight just the major in this time. Chasing that nibbler is definitely not worth it. There is a way to do it, but it's a little degenerate. I would prefer to kill it because having more of them is pretty nice, but not that big of a deal. We'll kill this guy, and then we'll do something a little degenerate to do it. I'm gonna freestyle a way to get this without having to alternate flick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna freeze him. Go back. That'll pray against the blob as well. Then I'm gonna go ahead and go run underneath. And that'll work. Okay. So you might be wondering, how do I fight this 3-stack without alternating or destacking or whatever, right? It's a bit rough. So what you can do is, well, the easiest way is just to face tank the blobs and kill them. But you can also just freeze the back one. I definitely wouldn't do this on a blob, because it takes a while to freeze, and also it's pretty degenerate. And we'll I-act this guy down from here. The blob also has really low HP, so it's not really worth it. I would probably just stand here and augury it down. TBH. We'll eat. I didn't realize this guy was gonna unfreeze there. I thought the bloblets would stop him. Well, let's go ahead and... we actually don't need to heal up too much here. We'll freeze the front one like before. Then we'll heal up off him. Wrong prayer. Okay, let's remember to use augury for the harder waves. Just the mailer sees us, so we're chilling. If I needed to safe spot this guy, I could stand here. If he was like closer to the pillar. Pretty simple solves, I would say, so far. Use 1.5 going to 57. You see, prayer regen just does everything. Fun fact, you can phantom with the Ayak as well on your killing blow. Okay, so this one's a bit tough because the ranger's seeing us while the melee is... Oh my god. RNG was not in my favor. This guy's gonna get safe spotted right here. This one's pretty easy. Right when he attacks, we can just run out here and pray mage. Okay. Now this is like the typical off. I think the Nibbler... Okay, Nibbler does not block. Okay. So let's go ahead and set this to Ice Barrage. And then we could fight the Major if we want to. I wonder if there's a way to... Oh, or I can just freeze the Major. And then I just need to find a place where the Ranger is going to try to look for me. And then I'll destack them. A little filthy, I would say. I don't know if this Ranger sees me if I go for the Nibbler. It probably does. So let's freestyle another solve. Let's refreeze this guy. You'd be afraid about one thing. If you freeze this guy while he's respawning, it'll cancel out the freeze. Then we'll run underneath him while he's frozen. I don't want this guy spawning the meleeer, so I'm gonna kill this guy first. I should probably heal up, being this low. What you saw there was like extremely unlucky getting hit that big from both the Ranger and the meleeer at the same time, but it is bound to happen if you're brute forcing. It is an acceptable risk of not playing the game properly. Since we need the HP anyway, although we don't really need the HP that badly, actually we kind of do, I'm going to go ahead and brew, restore, and then heart. Now since we need the HP pretty bad, we're gonna go ahead and blood barrage the next set of nibblers as well when they spawn. If I stood farther away, I could have phantom healed there too, but... In this case, it's just the major. We can actually run out and get these guys while praying does range, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we can safe spot them right here. The major digging is the biggest problem, I mean the melee digging, because then I have to fight him, and I can't really move from my spot without unstucking these bats. So we'll just switch over to range on this side. We'll use these guys as a safe spot. We'll freeze him so he doesn't leave a safe spot. If I ran under him, he could have like shifted over, which would have been fine. I would have just needed to kill him if that happens, but again, just freestyling some random free solves here. Using these safe spots, you can really mess around with a lot of things. You can safe spot him, he's in the corner. He got punched. Now we can fight just the major here. The melee is sneaking closer, so let's go ahead and try to freeze him. And then blast him down. Now we are technically in a small, unlikely DPS check, so we'll go ahead and use Mystic Vigor here. Now the more threatening guy is definitely the ranger here, so we'll pray against him. This guy's gotten close enough. We basically just took some mage damage there, possibly. Melee spawns, we'll go ahead and freeze it. In this case, we can actually just safe spot and kill it. Very nice of them to do it that way. Make sure you don't just click him from here, because you can't hit through the pillar. I did that in my last budget run, and I ended up tanking a lot more damage than I needed to. We'll do the degenerate D-stack, of course. Make sure we use augury. Always remind yourself to use augury. In this case, just the melee sees us. I don't want to leave those alive, so I'll go ahead and pray mage and get them. Oop, the blob saw me. Even there, the freeze wasn't really doing anything, because I could have just prayed melee and killed it. You gotta freeze it for the message. You can say spot the melee again. I just made it harder for myself, yeah. I have a 2-stack I have to deal with. It's okay though. We'll do the degenerate D-stack again. I'm hurting so many souls when I do that. In this case, the ranger is pretty deadly over there, so we're gonna go ahead and freeze this guy. Kill him. I think the melee is the most threatening thing, followed by the bats, and then the blob. We'll leave on augury so we can have defensive stats. We're gonna completely ignore the blob. Damn, no heat. He is irrelevant to us. Now this guy is pretty scary over here, so I'm gonna go under him and start eating while freezing him. Again, another freestyle solve. Well, if we're in melee range of him, he will be punching us, which lowers his average damage quite a bit. Okay, we ball. We'll leave on augury though. Defensive stats are nice. Now we just have the major. See, don't be afraid to eat. Having the extra brews means you can use them. They're not just there for cosmetics, so you can have 7 at Zuck. You do want to, use them if it gets kind of dangerous. Of course, I could easily off-tick the Major and the Ranger there, but I wanted to keep it as low APM as possible. Another pretty difficult one. 2 blobs. We'll stand under him. We'll actually use him as a safe spot against the meleeer. Maybe if it's easier if we just kill him, actually. If he ranges, I'll drink a brew. His max hit when he's meleeing is 19. And then I'll freeze this guy. A little disgusting of a brute force there. Of course, this method will, of course, include brute force. I think this ranger gets stuck if I shift him. I don't know if he sees me. Well, I guess he does, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just here to get the major closer. Method is very tanky. We'll put on our tank here if he digs. Well, when he digs. We'll heal up as well, actually. That way we get out of the Melier's max hit threshold. There you go. Mm-hmm. Again, just completely winging it. I don't know how this ranger is gonna work. I wonder if it sees me if I go like this. It's like stuck in some mobs right there. Oh, he does see me. Oh, but it destacks him like that, okay. That's nice. So now we can just do this. We'll go back before he unfreezes. Hello. Definitely a moment for the Phantom Barrage. We'll use Mystic Vigor because it'll help improve our freezing quite a bit, or healing. Also Phantom off this guy as well. We'll use Blood Barrage for this next one instead of Ice Barrage because we need HP. 3-1, just a ranger here. No need to greed. Going for those. This guy will get automatically safe spotted. He might actually go for a scratch on me, and then I'll have to move him down 1. Yeah, just like that. I'm gonna freeze this guy because if I run out there and he responds to Ranger, I want to be able to get back. About this guy following me while I do that. Aw. Couldn't save it. Unlucky. I'm actually going to rearrange my setup a little bit. My gear's all over the place. We use 2 full restores now. Make sure we use Augury at the beginning. We need to safe spot the Major in this case, so we're gonna go ahead and hide from him. Wave 65, you just want to stay spot the major. If you get a Z-solve, I'm so sorry. You might have to learn how to play the game. Go to the We Do Rates Inferno Discord. Go to the guides and look for the Z-solve. Very rare to happen. But it may be an instance where you may be forced to play the game. Depending on how it is. You can also try freezing one in the front. And that'll instantly destack it. You'll be fine, but you might actually have to learn how to play the game if it's a Z-solve for Wave 65. Doesn't happen often though. Okay, just 2 majors now. For this wave, you want to get them really low and kill them as close as you can to the same time, similar to Olm's hands. That way you prevent them from like permanently rezzing each other and being annoying. Looking like a roughly 2-hour cape with extremely meme solves for destacking every pillar. Actually, now that I think about it, even if you get a Z solve for wave 65, you can actually just brute force it and not play the game. You just need to freeze the ranger in the front, destack it, and then you have a triangle solve which you can then degen destack again. Let's go ahead and brew, restore, and then ranging pot. From here on out, it's all Bofa, or mostly Bofa. Hopefully you do not need a guide on triple jets. I mean, if you do, then it's called use the simulator, the Zuck and triple jet simulators. This guide is mainly to get you through the waves. But there is some small things that are nice for this, for Zuck as well. Go ahead and tag these guys all slowly. And then let's lure them out. Let them come to us. And then let's do the step under. Run through him and then pray melee. One got loose. We'll kill him. We don't really need to, but we'll do it. Why not? Let's get Jad pretty low. We bared his bones with the Bone Crusher necklace. And then we'll heal up off the healers here. I like to have my Bando's chestplate and Justice Shear base guard in the same roll. Have them ready for my blowpipe. We're going to be using that during the sets at Zuck. Let's see if which order they're shooting in. Seems to be clockwise. Once the projectile comes out, you're safe to switch right away. Boom, so I know I'm safe to switch. I saw that in the air, I'm already safe to switch. Now for the triple jets, they will only spawn 3 healers. I just recommend tagging them with your IAC. And then just moving north or south a bit. That way only one of them at a time hits you. So in case you messed up and like 2 of them are hitting you. Oops. I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. In case 2 of them were hitting you, you can just like move south like this, and that's fine too. Now, I messed up there and I used the brew to tick eat in case I, you know, obviously got chanced by that Jan. I didn't get chanced, I tick ate it, but... In this case, since I only have 4 doses of ranging pot, or I guess 3 more left, I'm actually going to save one. Save them for Zuck. This is a little bit north or south. Let's keep the region up. I would like to be range spotted for every set, and the healers for Zuck. And post healers. So set 1, healers and Zuck would be ideal. We're not in a rush otherwise. Of course, if you're like having the money for like an Eldritch, or you're bringing like a Shadow, then you might want to bring like Forgotten and Brew and stuff. And an extra ranging pot so you have more leeway to like be potted up. Blood barrage off these guys. The bones get automatically buried. That's how you know this is meta. Also, if you're confident walking with the shield a little bit in the beginning, then you don't need the stamina. Honestly, I will probably not need the stamina and it won't even be close, but I brought it here just in case you would like to have it. Okay, so now we're at Zuck. Let's brew, restore, and range spot. Get ready for a 3-way switch for our Justiciar, Bandos, and Blowpipe. Move from safe spot to safe spot. Every time Zuck fires, go to the next safe spot. This is going to be the pattern you're going to follow all the way until you get to healers. Once you get to healers, you want to actually start following the shield. Alright, let's put on our Blowpipe. The set will spawn here. Instantly start Blowpiping him down. Now let's get on the Major. Now you want to just tag him and ignore him. If you noodled on the Ranger, then you can of course tag the Major and just put on your tank gear while you're waiting. Well, which was already on actually. And then once you kill the Ranger and you're only praying against the Major, this is when you want to focus down Zuck. And you want to bring him to 600 ASAP. That'll pause the set timer. I think I lost a tick there. We'll take off our Confliction Gauntlets as well, actually. I forgot these have quite a bit of negative accuracy. I think -5. It's probably not making an actual realistic, perceivable difference, but I need my placebo. Alright, we brought him below 600. Let's go ahead and start killing this Major. We have an infinite amount of time to kill this guy, so no rush. Now that he's below 600. Now you can't reach the Major all the way from here, so you just gotta wait until Zuck fires. Now below 480, he'll spawn Jad. Just kill him as usual. You can use your wand there. Get a barrage on them. You don't need to, with a Bofa, any 10 range weapon, you don't need to worry about where you proc him. You can hit him from anywhere. Oops. Optionally pray melee in between Jad's attacks here, but I don't recommend it for most learners. They're probably shaking. Once the healers disappear, you want to brew up to as high as you can get. And then range bot. I actually like proccing and using IAC for the first hits of the healers, because the healers kind of have like this thing where they stall you once you tag them for the first time. So we'll go ahead and hard up. We want to proc as we're leaving the edges. He procs at 240, so let's go ahead and hold here. When this shield starts going to the middle, we'll proc. We have to be very careful to stick with the shield as we proc. We'll just leave on rigor. And then once everything is tagged up, let's switch to our blowpipe. If we ever fall below HP, we'll go ahead and use the specs to heal up. Don't be afraid to brew if you need to. On redemption as well. Now that we passed the healers, let's take our Bofa, squeeze some shots in, heal up to full. I don't even have it equipped. Now we have a very healthy shield, so we can basically ignore the major for the next set and pray ranged. That's re-ranging bot, very important. Let's put on our blowpipe and make sure it's close to our Bando's gear. Always stick slightly, ever so slightly ahead of the shield. Let's go ahead and ignore the major in this case. Very important to tag this meleeer down. Shield is actually not as healthy as I thought. I'll tag it. I'll tag the major. It's cutting a bit close. I thought the shield had way more HP. No need to kill the major at this point. We're in the home stretch. I was mistaken. I thought this the shield definitely had like 300 more HP. It probably didn't help. It probably didn't help that I let the ranger hit it like 3 times. I definitely could have procced the ranger sooner if I used like an IAC or if I just bofed it, but I was a little unprepared. Should also use set timers to help you out with being more prepared, but do be afraid of that dead zone right there. It'll drag you out. You can use it to your advantage, but if you're not sure, don't bother ever hitting in that dead zone. Like here, for example. It's kind of nice. And yeah, there you go. That is a hour and 7-minute cape. Wait, no. 107-minute cape. Sorry, an hour is not 100 minutes. But yeah, hour 47. Best of luck, guys. I hoped you guys were able to pass the waves, and with enough practice at the Zuck Simulator, you should have a Infernal cape. And if not, keep at it. You will eventually get it. And if you have any questions about this setup, can I downgrade X? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. The brute force requires quite a bit of budget to make it work, 500 mil in this case, a lot better than the 2 bill, 1 point whatever bill that I used last time. But anyway, 500 mil budget setup. I hope things stay this price. Prices may change. When I released my Coliseum video, it was originally a 300, 350-ish mil setup. It eventually became 400. Sorry. It is what it is. Best of luck.